Between Obama and Mitt Romney, who would be better for the U.S. economy?
Oh, I think there's no doubt Obama would be much, much better. You know, the problem of Romney and the Republicans is that they too are caught up in this austerity package. And, you know, the major problems facing the United States are lack of investment in infrastructure, technology, education, and growing inequality. Growing inequality that's so great that most Americans, and let me repeat, most Americans are worse off than they were in 1997. So we've had growth that goes all to the top. One of the reasons that things are going so well is that there are so many people at the top who don't pay their fair share of taxes. And Mitt Romney is one of them. You know, if you're paying 15%, and people who work for a living are paying 30, 35% of their income in taxes, it's unfair.
So you would agree with Warren Buffett?
I very much agree with Warren Buffett. That's the kind of responsible, high-income individual. He understands that his success was partly based on the success of the American country. You know, he didn't do it alone. He benefited from an economy that was doing well, from an education system that you know benefits everybody. He understood that he's part of a society, and he thinks as a wealthy person who has benefited, he should contribute. And so that's the kind of responsible citizenship that we need more of. And we're not getting that, fortunately, out of Romney.
You talk about inequality, and we also see the Occupy Wall Street movement. People are not happy with the situation. Is this the end of capitalism then?
No, it's not the end of capitalism, but it's an attempt to try to reform capitalism. What it's saying is there's something unjust when those who created the crisis walk off with a lot of money, and the price is paid by a lot of people who are thrown out of their jobs. When those at the top are not paying their fair share of taxes, and those who are just ordinary citizens are paying higher rates. When the speculators pay rates that are half of those that work for a living, that's an unfair system.
So what, since Lehman Brothers, all the banking regulations that people have been talking about, how it must ensure more transparency, more accountability, doesn't really work out, right?
We've made some reforms, and we should recognize that there have been some reforms in Dodd-Frank, but we have not really achieved the transparency that we need. And that's why there's so much uncertainty about what would happen if Greece failed. That's why you have the JP Morgan $2 billion, $3 billion loss. So we've not achieved lack of transparency. We have not reduced risk-taking. We have not reduced the exposure of taxpayers to the risk of a collapse of the financial system. We've not dealt with one of the biggest problems, which is the too big to fail banks, the too big to manage banks, the too big almost to be accountable banks. So we really have not addressed the core issues facing our financial system.
So when we look at Europe, it's bad. Look at the U.S., not that great. So would China become the knight in shining armor?
Unfortunately, there are some, there are some aspects of China that are doing very well. Economy is growing, poverty getting reduced.
Right.
Those are very good things. At the same time, there is growing inequality in China. There are some concerns about growing inequality, growing corruption in China. Some concerns about an economy that's in which restoring the balance, making sure it's more of a domestic-led economic growth. These are among the challenges that China faces. So I'm still optimistic, but it still has a lot of challenges going forward.